Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is Pool Chapter 81, and this one is titled Touches. While walking ahead of him, your mind went back to the time that you two had been between the sheets, how his hands had felt gripping your hips or pulling your head to the side so he could bite into your neck, and how you bit your bottom lip firmly to break yourself out of a trance. Aizawa, behind you, was having the same thoughts, his mind conjuring up the feeling of your thighs against his face as his lips and tongue traced between them. I need to stop thinking like this, otherwise it's going to look obvious, he thought, discreetly adjusting himself so he could hide something growing up under his belt. Just then someone stepped back and bumped into you, but before you had a chance to fall, Aizawa had caught you. I'm okay, you said quickly, righting yourself as fast as you could. He nodded and glared at the person who had bumped you, who then apologised profusely for knocking into you. With that little mishap out of the way, you both continued on to the kitchen to check how the food was coming along, and the head chef told you it would be another 5 minutes and the food would start to roll out. You thanked him, and you and Aizawa turned to head back to the group. Yeah, Aizawa said in a low voice as you were both heading back. Yes? You asked, looking back at him. He paused. I would like to. Is the food coming soon? Hazashi's loud voice pierced the eardrums of everyone in the restaurant. Hazashi, you cried, covering your ears. Please, inside voice. He doesn't have an inside voice, Namiri replied with a grimace. He doesn't even have an outside voice, someone from another table added. This is just concert volume, always. Well, I am a rock star, baby, Hazashi announced loudly again, sparking more comments to fly around between the teachers. You and Aizawa sat back down and you turned to him. Sorry, you were going to say something before Hazashi screamed across the room? Never mind, we can discuss it later, Aizawa said. Oh, okay. You didn't want to push him to talk about it now if you didn't want to, but man, were you curious. And man, did you hope and pray it was about the two of you, in a good way. Soon the food came out and the dishes were laid out in the middle of the table for people to take their pick, and you picked up a bowl to start dishing out food for yourself. Using your quirk, you extended your arms, so you didn't have to half stand to reach, and started picking things off for yourself. Oh, I wish I had your quirk, Numiri said as she watched. So handy. Oh, it really is, he replied. Did you want me to get you something? I can reach anything. Yes, please, the seasoned tofu at the back would be wonderful, she replied. You nodded and picked some up for her, then put it on her plate and finished up with your selection, then started eating. Aizawa had waited so that you would get your fill first, then he picked whatever was left, and you noticed that all the middle dishes had disappeared by the time it came for him to get some. Did you want to try some of the noodles? You asked him. You can have some of mine. Usually he would have told you not to worry about it, but this time he nodded. Have you tried it yet? He asked. Not yet, you said, taking some of your chopstick and lifting it across onto his plate. Tell me if it's any good. He picked some up and placed it in his mouth and chewed thoughtfully. How is it? You asked. It's good, he replied, so you picked up some as well to try it. As you placed it in your mouth, a little bit of sauce splashed onto your chin, and you quickly covered your face as you chewed. Yeah, Aizawa said, passing you a napkin. Thank you, you replied, still with a little mouthful, dabbing the sauce off your face. Dinner was delicious, and Aizawa seemed to be most attentive to you, making sure you had the food that you wanted and offering napkins if you needed them. It was now around 3 hours into the night, and you had only had one drink, so you weren't drunk at all, but maybe just a little looser than usual. Aizawa too had matched your drinking levels, and was allowing a little more hand contact or leg contact every now and again. I hate to leave, you said when the clock struck 11 p.m, but I'm going to head home now. Oh, Hazashi groaned loudly in protest. Come on! We were going to go to the dance club down the road. No thanks, you chuckled. I'll pass. As will I, Aizawa added, standing up beside you. I'll see to it that Yin gets home safely. It's okay, Aizawa. I can order a cab, you said with a smile. I'll make sure that you get home safely, he added again, saying his goodbyes to the table along with you. Pleasantries done, you and Aizawa headed for the door and out into the night. You're welcome to use the taxi and continue it on to your place if you need it, you said to Aizawa as you both stood on the curb waiting for the taxi to arrive. Appreciated, he replied. In the distance you could see the taxi approaching, and it pulled up and let you both in. You both sat in the back seat and it pulled away from the curb and headed off down the road to your place. That was a nice night, he said to Aizawa. It was nice to be able to talk outside of the classroom, too. Yes, it's been a while since we spoke outside the classroom, he replied, looking out the window. You smiled and rested your head back against the headrest. Are you tired, Yin? Rest your head on my shoulder, Aizawa offered, and you shifted your head to the side so you could rest on him. Thanks, he replied. That's much more comfy. The longer the ride took, the more contact you two made, until he had his arm around your shoulders, supporting you as you snuggled in. Okay, miss, the cab driver said, pulling up outside your apartment. This is you. Oh, thank you, he said, sitting up to pay. I'll pay, Aizawa said, quickly pulling out his wallet and paying the driver before you could draw your card. And there ends Chapter 81. Stay tuned for Chapter 82 coming tomorrow.